Good evening and welcome to the news at 10. His Royal Highness Crown Prince Hussein, the Regent, received Prince William, Duke of Cambridge. Upon his arrival at Marka Military Airport for a two-day visit to Jordan, senior officials, the British ambassador in Amman and members of the embassy were also at the airport to receive the Duke. Later on, the Regent, along with Prince William, visited the Crown Prince Foundation, which is responsible for managing Prince Hussein's youth initiatives. Prime Minister Omar al-Razzaz affirmed the government's commitment to strengthen the monitoring bodies and boost their role in combating corruption and preserving public money. Razzaz made his remarks as he visited the Integrity and Anti-Corruption Commission and met with its chief, Mohammed al-Allaf. The Prime Minister stressed the need to apply the full force of the law against those found guilty in cases of corruption. In this regard, Razzaz said the cabinet discussed the launch of a charter and a code of conduct for ministers. For his part, Mohammed al-Allaf said the Prime Minister's visit is an opportunity to strengthen the joint work between state institutions and the Commission. Prime Minister Omar al-Razzaz directed all ministries, public departments and institutions to follow up on the implementation of the programs of the 2016-2025 Comprehensive National Human Rights Plan. In a statement issued today, Razzaz called for following up on the enforcement of all national, regional and international obligations in relation to legislation, policies and practices. The Prime Minister also called for providing the Human Rights Coordinator at the Prime Ministry with the latest procedures and updates on the human rights system and give the issue the attention it deserves to develop and advance the human rights situation in the Kingdom. Minister of Public Works and Housing Yahya Al-Kasbi decided to terminate contracts for routine maintenance tenders as of July 1st, 2018. The minister said the reason behind the decision is that the articles included in tenders were found to be economically non-feasible. The minister added that the number of the terminated contracts are 15 and worth 50 million dinars. Groups of Israeli extremist settlers stormed the Aqsa Mosque Haram al-Sharif compound in occupied Jerusalem. The General Director of the Islamic Awqaf and Aqsa Affairs said in Ramallah that 134 settlers and 10 Israeli policemen stormed the Holy Mosque via Al-Maghribi Gate under heavy protection by Israeli police. He went on to say that Israeli settlers performed provocative Talmud rituals amid a state of anger. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan had 53% of the vote, with 90% of the votes counted in Turkey's presidential election so far. The main opposition's presidential candidate, Muharrem İnce, stood at 30% nationwide, according to local television channels. First results had been expected to give Erdogan and his AK party a strong lead, one that could shorten as more voters are tallied across the nation of 81 million people. Saudi women drivers took to the roads legally today for the first time in the kingdom's history as its decades-old ban on women driving finally lifted. The end of the controversial ban represents the culmination of years of campaigning by rights activists who have sometimes been arrested and imprisoned for their efforts. This report has more.
It's just after midnight in Riyadh and Majdouline Al-Atiq is about to do something she has never done before: legally drive on Saudi Arabia's roads.
It feels weird. I'm so happy. There's no words can explain what I'm feeling right now.
On Sunday, Saudi Arabia lifted the world's last ban on women driving. It's long been seen as a symbol of women's repression in the deeply conservative Muslim kingdom. The ban's lifting, part of a series of reforms pushed by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is hailed by Western allies as proof of a new progressive trend. But as Reuters' Stephen Kalin explains, there's still a long road ahead.
The truth is that only a small percentage of Saudi women have actually received their licenses so far. Most of the women who are driving today have lived abroad, so they definitely belong to a certain strata of society, and we still have yet to see how society will respond when more and more women take to the road.
Across the country, driving schools for women have opened. Women car accident inspectors are being trained to deal with incidents involving female drivers, and there are plans to open holding cells for female traffic violators. It's also expected to boost the economy, with industries from car sales to insurance set to reap the rewards. But this reform has also been accompanied by a crackdown on dissent, including against some of the very activists who previously campaigned against it. They now sit in jail as their peers take to the road.
But in the sports world, Saudi Arabia is not so happy, as their coach Juan Antonio Pizzi said he had no regrets about his team's unsuccessful World Cup campaign. Their participation included a 5-0 loss to host Russia and will come to an end tomorrow against Egypt, who are also heading home early. Pizzi said he would not change anything in the Saudis' approach to the tournament. And after the thrashing by Russia, Saudis took some comfort from a narrow 1-0 defeat to Uruguay, even as it meant they would not progress in the tournament's Group A. The World Cup campaign left Saudi Arabia well prepared to mount a challenge to win the Asian Cup in early 2019.
Después de resultados adversos, encontrar motivos y situaciones que uno podría modificar. Desgraciadamente nosotros los entrenadores tenemos que tomar la mayoría de las decisiones antes de que sucedan las cosas.
And before we go, here's a quick look at the weather. More warm summer conditions prevail across the country tomorrow, with temperatures around seasonal average and the winds northwesterly moderate to brisk. Amman can expect a high of 33 degrees Celsius and a low of 19 degrees. Further south in the Gulf of Aqaba, very hot conditions are in the forecast, with daytime temperatures at 39 degrees, dropping down to 26 at night. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news. I'm Nancy Khair. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.